Hello, this is old Mr. Kent, and I have 3 pieces of good news, and I thought I'm going to share them using my Air 2S drone this morning. The first good piece of news is that after 120 days of no rain here in the Phoenix area of Arizona, we finally had a rainstorm last night. And it poured down rain, and the wind was blowing, and it was really a storm. In fact, it blew some limbs off of the tree in my son's yard. But because the ground was so dry, my wife said that probably it soaked the water up, so because you can't really see a lot of leftover water this morning. But it was really storming last night. So anyway, that's the good news, is now we don't have to be worried about all the dust in the air that is miserable, gets on everything. You get a free car wash when there's a rainstorm down here. So that's the first piece of good news. It finally rained after 120 days, which is almost 4 months, as I have said, here in the Phoenix area of Arizona. So, and then I thought, well, I'm going to go fly my drone, because not only that, but the temperature is lower this morning, and because the temperature is low, it was 90 degrees when I took off, so that's a lower temperature, much lower than it's been lately. And so I was able to get up and fly my drone. And I'm flying the Air 2S because when I went for my e-bike ride down this road, it was pretty breezy. We had a strong breeze coming out of the east, and the flags were waving and everything. So I thought, rather than fly my Mini 3, I'll fly my Air 2S. And so on one thing there is, you can see here, I'm turning around going the other way. They're widening the road that we take into town. And as I understand, it might be a 4-lane road. See, where that school bus was pulling out, that's where we pulled out. Now we're up at the end of the road where it meets the dirt road that goes by our house, where they're currently burying a water pipe. And this is why they left that part open, I don't know, but they've got it buried there. And then it goes all the way down here, and you can see the property lines are all nice and even going along here. And then we get down here to one spot, and from that yard up there at the top on down many houses, it goes out about 10 feet into the road. And so, and I've covered that in earlier videos. But anyway, so there they brought the pipe up out of the ground and ran it under the fence and ran it into his yard. And then that's the end of the pipe, because they had to wait until everybody got their fences moved and everything, so that they could widen the road and lay the water pipe in the road. So anyway, you can see that this is my son's house, and they were telling everybody they had to move their fence because they were going to widen the road. And so all along through here, all these people had to look at that, that problem. And so it goes along here. And then up here where the little round corral is, then in the next yard, they started the pipe again, and then they haven't laid it under the ground on this end of his yard, but up at the other end of his yard, as we fly over there, you can see that they went under the fence and have buried it from there all the way on up quite a ways. So the the other piece of good news is, since you can see where they're going under the fence and into the yard, the contractor for this, who does the digging of the ditch and also buries the pipe, he came by and talked to my son this morning, and as it turns out, they've got what they call a mini excavator. Instead of the big track hoe that is down there at the very end of this road, they're going to use a little mini excavator, and people will not have to tear down their fence. and they can come just like they did at that one man's house, dig under the fence and then get into the yard and dig the trench in the yard and then fill it up. So as it turns out, folks don't have to move their fences, and they don't have to go to all the trouble and expense, although the contractor, that contracting company, was willing to pay for it. I won't go into details there, but that track hoe up at the end, that's what they have been using. But they're going to use a smaller one, then they can get into the yards, and people don't have to move their fence. But this is where the pipe comes to. You can see it about halfway down that trench. It comes out of the trench, and it's laying there, and on over to where that other little track hoe is, a little excavator. So that's where the pipe is now, and that's where it's ending. And so the good number one good news is it rained. Number two good news, I got to fly my drone. And number three good news, my son isn't going to have to move his fence, although he says he's going to do some changing and actually put in a different fence system and make it look nicer there. So anyway, as I head back toward home, that's the latest that's going on here. And I finally got to fly my drone and ride my e-bike, and so life is good. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching my video, and God bless.